Hello everyone, my name's Danielle and today we are doing my recent reads. Sorry if the lighting's a bit off again. When I get home from work it's dark outside and I have to film a video. Not much I can do about that. Because I only read like 5 to 6 books a month, I have started doing like recent reads instead of like a monthly wrap up. So today we're going to be doing August, September and October's reads, and then going forward I think I'm going to do it like every 2 months. I'm going to do November and December together, and then in 2026 I'll do like every 2 months. I only have a few of these physically because I have either sold some on Vinted or got them from the library or had them on my Kindle. The first one I read in August is The Chamber of Secrets, which I obviously gave it 5 stars. I've always gave all the Harry Potter books 5 stars. It's my all-time favourite series, and this time I am going through and reading the illustrated editions for the first time. It's even better. There's some really nice illustrations in here. I'm pretty sure they've changed illustrator now, so I'm not sure what's happening with the rest of the books, but yeah, there's really nice illustrations in here. I don't think I need to do a synopsis for Harry Potter, but I think this was the only 5-star I gave out in the last 3 months. So I am quite strict with my ratings. I've got a couple of 4.5 stars, but yeah, my only 5-star. Next, I read Red by Jack Ketchum. This one I was expecting more from because I have given Jack Ketchum 5 stars in the past. He's like an extreme horror author, but this one wasn't really horror. I don't think it's more like a thriller. A group of kids kill this man's dog and he goes out for like revenge on the kids, but it wasn't as intense as I thought it would be. Like when the dog dies, it's like literally a split second. It's really fast, so it's not like graphic on page. I wanted the owner of the dog to like get more revenge from the kids. He starts going down the route of like going to the police, and the police doesn't really listen to him. But yeah, I found it really repetitive and it wasn't really a horror. It didn't get gory or anything. I am still hoping for good things from Jack Ketchum's other books that I need to get to, because I think this one was just like an outlier where it wasn't really horror. Next, I read Dracula. I have this really gorgeous like penguin illustrated cover edition, but I can't find it anywhere. But I think I am going to sell it anyway because I only rated it at 2.5 stars, which really surprises me. I think I was really enjoying the first half of this book, where it's set in Whitby, because I've been to Whitby many times in my childhood. I used to go on holiday there. So it was really nice reading a setting that you're really familiar with. And I really liked how it was journal entries and letters and stuff like that. The second half I was just getting really bored. I found it quite, again, repetitive. Dracula is hardly in the book at all. It didn't bother me that much, but I feel like most people would be a bit taken aback by that. And mainly I was bored, which is a shame because I was really enjoying the first half, and I really liked the first bit where it was set in like Dracula's castle. I would have liked to see more bits like that. Next, I read Babel by R.F. Kuang. And I was nervous going into this because I've read, I can't remember, I think the second book's called The Dragon Republic. It's a well-loved series and I really didn't like that series. I DNF'd it after the first book. So yeah, I was a bit apprehensive going into this one, but I really loved this one. I gave this one 4 stars. I really liked the setting, and I think the magic system of like engraving metals and using like silver was really unique, and I was personally really interested in like the talks about translation and language as well. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like really slow and really hard to read, but it wasn't. It was quite easy to read. Yeah, obviously I read this like 3 months ago now, so it's kind of difficult to like remember in depth what happened. I really liked our main character and the dynamics between him and his group of friends and the other students in the school. There's also like an underground revolution network in this book, which I found really interesting, and I liked how we got to deeper explore that as the book went on. So they're all the books I read in August. Next we're going to September, and I read 5 books in September. The first book I read was on my Kindle. I think it was an ARC off NetGalley, and that's Hiding Lies. I can't remember the author's name, but it'll be on your screen. So I gave this one 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. It's a story about a serial killer that like lures his victims out to campsites, like remote campsites, and then like kills them there. The way he like he thinks he's doing something good, and the way he like thinks this is because he will not follow his victims, but he'll like see them. He works in like a bookshop, and he'll see them and he'll like observe them lying or being superficial, and that's like his reason for doing this. Like he sees them as bad people if they're like lying to their partner, and then he'll invite the partner together out to the campground and he'll like kill them both. I really enjoyed this one. It was quite graphic and gruesome, more than I expected, so be warned about that going into it. But I'm definitely going to look into this. I think this might be a debut book from this author, but if not, I'm going to look into their past works and keep an eye on their future works. Next I read Atalanta, and I got this book from the library. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I have not read a Greek myth retelling before this for a long time. I read a lot a few years ago, and then I think I was just reading too many in like a short space of time, so I took a break from them. And this is the first one I got back into, and I did enjoy it. Definitely going to pick some more up now, like I've got this like a taste for it and I want to read more. This one story I hadn't heard of before. We're following Atalanta, who has been raised by Athena in like her forest, and Athena sends her on a mission to join the Argonauts on their mission to go find the Golden Fleece. So she's the only woman on this boat full of like men and Greek gods. She joins them. They're obviously reluctant to let her join, but she like proves herself. She's one of the fastest people in Greece, so yeah, they let her on. And I liked how on the way to getting the Golden Fleece we're like stopping at different islands and having like little side missions here and there, so I really enjoyed that one. I thought there was just nothing special about it. It was quite forgettable, so that's why it didn't get like a really high rating. Next I listened to Malice House on audiobook. I think the audio narration is very good. I really enjoyed it, and I was surprised by this one. I gave it 4 stars. I wasn't expecting anything like special, but yeah, it really surprised me. I really liked the story and the main character. We're basically following our main character, who is going to her childhood house because her dad has passed away, and you know she's got to like clean the house up to sell it or do whatever she wants with it. Her dad was an author. She finds like a manuscript that he must have wrote and he's not released it, so she's looking at getting that published, but weird stuff starts happening that's like to do with the stories, if that makes sense. So she's got to like investigate that. What I really liked is between like each chapters we get like excerpts of the book that's in the book, so it's like a book within a book, and I really enjoyed them bits. Next is Nothing But Blackened Teeth. I gave this one 2 stars. I really did not like this one at all. I actually bought this book because I thought it was another book by the same author, well, novella. I thought this was like the story of Salt Grows Heavy when I saw the cover, and it's not. I'm still interested to read The Salt Grows Heavy though. But this one is a haunted house story, but it's a group of people are staying in like a Japanese mansion in Japan. There's like a bride ghost haunting the house. I think it was just the writing. I just really couldn't grasp what was going on. I had to like reread pages. I've never had that before. There was no like scary moments. I didn't like any of the characters. It was just overall just really bad. Like, it was a mixture of the writing, the plot and the characters just all fell flat for me. I've seen a few people rate this bad as well, so it's not just me. I'd literally like read a page and just not know what I've just read and have to read it again. I am selling this one on Vinted because I don't want to own it anymore. Next is October, and I read 5 books again in October. This is the month that I did my Is the Evernight book box worth my money? So I read a lot of Evernight horror books. I did that in a vlog, so I won't talk about these books too much because I have like an in-depth vlog about these books. The first one is The Invocations, which I gave 3 stars and which I really expected, because I have read another book by Crystal Sutherland which I gave 3 stars as well. I can't remember what it's called. Mainly because it felt like a little bit YA. This is following 3 women who are investigating this serial killer because he's going around and killing witches for their magic. So they have like an invocation tattooed on their skin, and he'll take that off and like put it on himself, and then he has that magic. One of the women is a witch that have been given the other women the magic. The premise sounds really good, but I think there was too many references to current day things. Like they mentioned Vinted on here, a lot of like social media and smartphone stuff, which takes me out of the story and I don't like it. From the cover, I think it looks like it's set in the late 1800s, so that's what I was expecting. I think it would have been a lot better and I would have rated it high if it was set in like a historical time setting. I really like Jude as our main character. I think she was really funny. The other 2 I didn't really care about. 2 sort of YA, and the pop culture references just making me cringe a little bit. Next was Murder Road, which is another Evernight subscription box. I gave this one 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I have enjoyed books by Simone St. James before, so I think I am really enjoying this author and I can't wait to read more. I don't like this customization though. I don't think it suits the story. A couple is going on their honeymoon, and at the start of the book they go down this road and they see a woman in the middle of the road, and they like offer to give her a lift, but they can see that she's like injured in some way, but they take her to the hospital and she dies. And now they're like central to the murder investigation of this small town, and they can't leave because obviously they had the dead woman in their car. Yeah, so it's got like small town horror setting and it is paranormal as well. I don't like reading romance, but obviously this is following a couple, but they're already very much established and it felt like very natural. Their interactions together felt very natural, and it wasn't like the focus of the plot. It was still very much, the investigation was still very much the main focus. And I've seen quite a lot of people say they saw the plot twist coming, but they still enjoyed the book, but I didn't see the plot twist coming at all. I liked how the story came together and it all wrapped up. The last one I read for that vlog was Bat Eater by Kylie Lee Baker. I gave this one 2 stars. I didn't like this one. It's a nice addition though. This reminded me of The Eyes of the Best Part. I gave that 3 stars, I think. Yeah, it seemed really similar. Again, it felt a bit YA. We're following a crime scene cleaner, and I thought that was going to be the main like story. Like, I thought we was going to see a lot of that and the serial killer aspect, but that wasn't the main focus at all. The main focus was the paranormal plot, which I liked a lot less and I was a lot less interested in. So if the crime scene cleaning and the serial killer like was at the forefront, I would have enjoyed this a lot more. This also does the thing I hate about horror and paranormal books, is when it makes like the ghost not that scary and the character like gets used to the ghost, because then it's not scary for the reader, and a main character is scared of other things more than like the haunting and the ghost, which I understand why it's doing that, like it's making a statement. Well, that's not what I wanted from the story. So I think the case of this one is just, it wasn't for me, because this has been highly rated and I've seen lots of people love it, just not for me. Next I read Ask for Andrea, and I got this from the library. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. This is a paranormal book where we're following 3 girls who have been murdered by a serial killer, by the same man. And this one isn't one where the ghosts are meant to be scary. The ghosts are meant to just be like telling the story. It reminded me of Someone Like Me by M.L. Carey, where it's not meant to be a scary paranormal, it's meant to be like an emotional paranormal, which I really enjoy, so I want to find more. They're trying to stop this serial killer, but obviously because they're ghosts, they can't interact with the world, they can't interact with him, so they're pretty much like helpless. I really liked how the story ended, and I really liked when these ghosts came together and could interact with each other. I thought it was a very like different and original thriller. And then lastly, I read on my Kindle We Need to Do Something by Max Booth III. I really enjoyed this like horror novella and I gave it 4.5 stars. This is set all in one room, so our family is taking cover in their bathroom from like a natural disaster. They then get trapped in the bathroom by like a tree falling in front of their bathroom door. It doesn't specifically say, but I think it goes across like a space of a few weeks. They've got no food, no access to like their phones or anything, so they don't know what's going on and why no one's rescuing them, and whether it was a tornado outside or something else. Very claustrophobic. There's some like gory moments which I was surprised with, following like obviously there's tense dynamics with the family members as well. There is a film of this and I watched it after I finished the book, I think literally the same day, and I wouldn't recommend the film. I really didn't enjoy the film, so I'll just stick with the book for this one. And yeah, that's all the books I have read recently. Please let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you think on them and whether you agreed or disagreed with my ratings, and I'll see you next time I upload a video. Thank you, bye.